Welcome to Mike Check Sports. Today I will be interviewing Ben Bautista, a local of San Francisco, just like myself. Just waiting for him to come on, tell us his story. Waiting for Ben to come on. Let's see. There we are. Hey Ben, how you doing,
We on
man?
live and direct.
Yeah, we live and direct now, man. I just introduced. I said, everybody say welcome to Ben Bautista. I know this man from San Francisco. He's a
Right.
coach just like myself. But before we start the interview, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to answer these 12 questions I got for you. My first thing before we start the questions I'd like to ask is, how are you? How's life? How's your family?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain about nothing.
Sounds
Family's
good.
good. Family's good. Everybody's strong and healthy. Uh, Especially during these COVID times. I can't complain.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So let's start off with my first question. To let the listeners know, my first question is, what's your background? What's your ethnicity? Where are you from? Let the listeners know.
Well, I'm Filipino, right? Born and raised
Right.
in San Francisco,
That's
and
right.
I go back, way back. I'm 50 years
Okay.
old now,
Yep.
half a century.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah. It
life is
goes into
good
my
though.
second
Yeah.
question. Yeah, my second question
Yeah,
is, what
right.
got you into boxing? What got you into boxing, man?
Uh,
Question number two.
I think I got pretty much started liking boxing when I used to sit down with my father, watching Muhammad Ali fights on Worldwide Sports on that black and white
Right.
TV with the hanger. Sometimes we
Yeah,
had to bang
yeah.
it on the side for it to, for the reception to come on clear.
Right.
But I mean, I was like back in the days, right? But then growing up, always fighting with my brothers, cousins, always fighting on the schoolyard. And I just took a liking for fighting. Fighting was like second nature to me. And I remember growing up in the neighborhood, and it used to be like a bunch of gyms around San Francisco and various rec centers. And a lot of the OGs always tell their stories about, yeah, man, I was 10 and 0, I was
Right.
12 and 0. So, all that like inspired me, to get into boxing. And then we had a gym like across on the other side of Market Street, because I grew up pretty much on the south of Market side, downtown. And on the north of Market side was the Tenderloin. And they had
Right.
Newman's Gym there, the legendary Newman's Gym,
Newman.
where a lot of
Right.
legends trained at, George
Right.
Foreman, Sugar Ray Robinson, Bobo Olsen, and the list goes on and on and on. And I remember I was too young to go in there. They said that youngsters can, kids can train in there. Only days we could train was Saturday, right? And then one day, my cousin, Robin Corpus, I don't know if you know Rudy Corpez from United Players, but
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
his older
yeah, yeah.
brother, right? Those are my cousins, and he got into boxing, and he hooked up with Johnny Carnation, and he talked to Johnny Carnation about me and Rudy boxing, and so Johnny's like, "Tell him to come through, right?" And so uh, Rob said, "Come on through. It's all good, right?" So we got to Newman's Gym, and they had like two rings up top, but then you go down the stairs. Johnny had his own little personal boxing ring. And I remember my
Okay.
first day going downstairs, I ran into Pat Lawler. This is when,
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Pat
So
Lawler.
yeah, when you were,
This is before he
yeah.
started, fighting and winning the Golden
Okay.
Gloves. And so, yeah,
Right.
we was all in the same stable together. Me, Rudy, Danny McGuire, Pat Lawler, we was all
Wow.
downstairs together. This is back in fucking, I think, 83, 84.
Yeah,
Around there.
it's a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I talked. I had John on my first interview, and he was telling me about your SSC program. You
right.
know, I know you just gave me a little background on how you got into it. How did you lead into your boxing program? This is this is my third question now. Tell me a little bit about
Well,
how you became a coach.
well, so going back to when I was
Going
boxing.
back, yeah, let's lead up to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, like I had a few amateur fights, right? But then back in the
Okay.
80s, crack hit the scene, right? And so,
Uh-huh.
you know, got caught up in the game, right? And wasn't boxing anymore because I was chasing that money. The money was good then. So,
Yeah, I know.
but at the same time, though, right? I end up, going to jail, that type of stuff. First juvenile hall in 850 Bryant. So when I was like 18, I had a son, Ben Jr., right? He kind of like inspired me to change my life around at the time. So I went to college. I got a degree. I went to City College, then I went to San Francisco State. Ended up getting a degree in psychology. But at the same time,
Okay.
I was working in the community, as a outreach worker, then a counselor, and I was a featured spokesperson for Ellie Hill Hutch Community Center, which is in the Fillmore district, right? And so I was doing my thing in the community, and my caseworker, right, when I was pretty much making my transition from the streets to college, she was like, "You need to start a boxing program here at LEO Hutch," right? So she was planting seeds in my
Mm.
head, right? She said
Right.
I could write the proposal, right, and we could run it right here at LEO Hutch. But at the time, I wasn't really tripping off it, right? Because honestly, I was kind of like, even though I was going to college, I still was dabbling in the game. It was just hard for me to let it go, right?
Right.
And that's how I ended up getting caught again. I went to did some time in San Bruno County Jail. I did probably I think 6 months or something like that. Then I got out, went back to college. But then I think fast forward, I say 1997, right? Because while I was in the community, going to school, I was always going like in and out the gym, right, to work out. And then my coach at the time was like, "Yo, man, once you come to Ocean View, I got a boxing program going on right there, right in Ocean View Park and Rec. They had a boxing gym in the back of the basketball gym, right? So he started a program there working with kids like after school. So I'll go up there and I help him out, right? And I took a liking to it. So I started like
Right.
taking the kids on field trips, taking the Golden Gloves, that type of stuff, right? And then
Right.
because I was working in the community, where I was I was doing this class at Ida B. Wells High School. I think it was in 1999, around healthy lifestyles and drug prevention. And at lunchtime, they had this storage room all the way in the basement, right? They had a punching bag and a speed bag in there, and there'd be
Yeah.
some youngsters in there hitting the bag, right? And they ain't no uppercut from a buttercup, right? So I was like, man, let me go in there
Yeah,
and help,
yeah, yeah.
show them how to properly throw a punch. So,
Right.
so I started going there every lunchtime. Next thing you know, the teachers, found out what I was doing down there. The principal found out what I was doing down there
Oh
with
wow.
the students at lunchtime, and she told me to start a boxing program in the school at lunchtime, right? Basically, to try to keep those kids right in the
Kids out the
school
streets.
because
Yeah.
at Ida B. Wells, I don't know if you know about the school. It's a continuation high school, right?
Right.
And
Like rap. right?
Yeah, like rap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a continuation high school. Hold on, let me turn this light on so I can see me. So kids, the students will leave, the school grounds at lunchtime, right? And a lot of them will go get high, and then they won't even come back, for fifth,
Right.
sixth, seventh period, right? So basically, the boxing program is like to help a lot of the kids stay in school, right? So they can go to their fifth, sixth, seventh period, right? So, but I mean, it just blew up from right there, man. Next thing you know, man, I had like one or two students. Next thing you know, I had 20. Next thing I had 50. Then they like, can we turn this into a class where they can get credit? Next thing you know, I started running a whole athletic program. It wasn't just about boxing no more. It was basketball.
So
then,
that was SFC.
Yeah,
That was
SFC.
SFC. That's what.
Yes.
Okay.
Grade 4 club. And
So
then,
that was your. Yeah.
And then I was working at Juvenile Hall too, as a consultant, right? I had an office up there.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
all right.
And so I was there from 2000 to 2004, I believe. And so when I started the program at Alderby Wells, I was working at Westside Community Mental Health Center as a drug counselor. So I went from there to Juvenile Hall. And so Juvenile Hall, right, they had a lot of kids that was like, that was in the system that was attending Alderby Wells. So they was like, why won't we give you some money? Why won't you apply for this grant? And, we can help you with boxing equipment, take these kids on trips, we'll help you with a trainer, blah, 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 right? So I said, cool, right? So they ended up giving me like $25,000, man, right, to run that program.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was working at
back in that time, that's a good grant right there.
Yeah, but mind you, I ain't say I was gonna be a trainer, right? My coach,
they just
my coach, right? Who I was, working with at Ocean View, right? I had him come to Alderby Wells, right, to teach the class, but he had stopped coming, right? Because
right.
Rest in peace. He passed away now, but
Who's that? Who's that?
Johnny Mason. Johnny Mason.
Oh,
yeah.
Rest in peace, Johnny Mason.
A lot of OGs know him. A lot of OGs know him, man. He's he was a wizard when it came to boxing. So he was I met him at Newman's. No, I met him at San Francisco Pal, and then he came down to Newman's, and then he ended up at King's Gym, right? I brought him down to the King's Gym, and then he ended up staying, and he ended up like opening the gym up for Charles King and closing the gym up. But that was before, Straightforward Club, right? So, but anyway, he was supposed to be the one running the class, and he stopped coming, right? Oh. So I had no other choice but to teach the class.
Take over, yeah.
Because it was just too many kids there, right? So I started teaching, teaching. I had girls like Kareem's sister, Kareem Mayfield's sister. She used to be in the class. Jeff Rael, that worked with Virgil Hunter now, that's been traveling around to the Paris with what's his name, Toko, whatever his name is, Tony Yoka. He's been working with a lot of Virgil Hunter's guys, but he was one of my first students in the class, and I remember somebody else, this dude named Anwar was like, "Yo, man, we gotta try to get this dude Kareem in the program, man. He can fight, right?" I said, man, tell him to come through, right? So one day he stuck his head in the door, right? And Anwar was like, "That's Kareem right there." I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man? I heard a lot about you, man." I said, "Man, when you gonna come back?" He said, "I'm gonna come back." And he ended up coming back. I wasn't there. My coach was there, Johnny Mason, right? So Johnny told me, "Yeah, man, this kid came by, man. I put him in there in the ring with one of the boxers, and Johnny liked him like instantly, right? So he spoke highly of Kareem. back then. Yeah. So, but then, it ended up being a school thing to like all the youngsters around Fillmore, right? And then next thing you know, there was like community programs from across to San Francisco. That was referring kids to me, juvenile probation, parents. I mean, it was just like a bunch of, people from across San
leading them your
Francisco
way.
that was referring kids to the program. But the high school, mind you, was like, we got to close at 5, right? We can't be here past 5, right? And then they start tripping about, kids from outside coming in. So I had to find another location. So, find another location. I forgot where we moved to because I had so many gyms in San Francisco. But at the time, it was a good time because this is when the prices were good, as far as the gyms and stuff like that. Yeah. Yep. So, you know what I did? No. You know what I did? Right after Ought to Be Well, I was staying in the Hayes Valley Projects, man. Right.
Oh.
The housing government, right? And this is the new Hayes Valley, right? The new Hayes Valley, right? You feel me? And I had a garage. I turned my garage into my boxing gym. And I had a studio down there too, a music studio. So I have a bunch of kids going to my house, but I'm like, man, I need to get something better. I mean, bigger and better than this. So I ended up getting a warehouse. But so that's what ended up happening, man.
All right, that leads me to your fourth question. My fourth question. So it went. So this, how did you become an amateur coach? Like when you decide like, all right, I'm gonna start taking these kids to these USA boxing events, and who were some of those fighters that you brought with you?
Well, it was like guys like Kareem, right? Kareem, and then we had another dude named Hitman. That was able to box. He was from Fillmore too, and so they want to, they want to fight. So we had to sign them up to USA Boxing, and
you got a good long history with USA Boxing, right? I know you got. So let's go into that. Let's go into that.
This is like in 2000, 2001, I believe. Hitman, we fought in Sacramento. I remember Hitman knocking somebody out. And then Kareem fought like a week after and made a lot of noise, right? And, Kareem wasn't afraid to fight anybody. Kareem would have 2 fights, and it'd be like somebody would fight Kareem, like, let me fight him. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter who it was. Right? So, we instantly, we had made a name for ourselves. I ended up having guys like Richard Hargraves, who was a 2-time national champion. I had Otis Seymour, who was like a Golden Glove champion. Otis was beating a lot of people up,
Yeah,
he was real good. Yeah. He was out of Fillmore. And then Bubba, Gabriel Holland. You know Gabriel Holland?
Nah, I don't. I know OT though.
Yeah,
I know.
He teaches boxing. I think at Fight and Fitness. Fight and Fitness got a new name now. But he worked. That's where he work at now. But Bubba, I met Bubba through the probation department. I remember I told you I worked at Juvenile Hall. I was in my office. The probation officer called me up and said, "Yo, Ben," her name was Heidi. I was his probation officer. Heidi called me upstairs. She said, "I want you to meet this guy. I want to box, right?" I went in there. It was this white dude, right? Cool as shit, though, looked kind of tough, right? And he said he wanted to box and all. I'm like, okay, that's cool, right? And he was serious too, because he had came to the gym and he ended up training. And man, he ended up winning the Golden Gloves, man. And that was kind of cool, man.
That's awesome.
So I had him, right? And then remember I told y'all I had moved to a bigger location. So I moved to a bigger location right after the basement.
From your house, you said. From your house.
Right at the house. We had moved to what was it, off of Third and Cesar Chavez is a warehouse right there, right? And
Yeah, that's what John was telling
that's
me. You know
when
what I mean?
that's when Chicas came to the gym. Jonathan Chicas.
Yeah,
My cousin Will had a Will Corbett had a
yeah.
program at the Beacon at Denman Middle School. And so Chicas
Mm,
is in this program, and Will brought a bunch of youngsters down, and Chicas is one of them. And out of all the youngsters
mm,
that came, Chicas was the only one that stayed. And you know,
yeah.
so yeah,
He told
Chicas,
me the story. Yeah,
he was dedicated, man. He was coming every day. You know, he was serious about it, man. So you know,
yeah.
he did good, man, as an amateur. You know, going pro, he did
Right.
well as a pro. Uh,
Yeah,
Same with Otis, he did. You know, he was a good
yeah.
amateur. He turned pro. He did well. Richard Hargraves did
Yeah,
well as an
yeah,
amateur. He did okay as a pro. And as you know, Kareem, shit, man, he made
yeah.
it pretty much almost to the top, man. He won
I
NLBO
mean, he like, yeah. We were
championship
speaking on
belt.
that. Yeah, Kareem did his
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, he was the
yeah,
man
yeah.
at one
He
point.
made
Yeah,
it. He made a name
yeah,
for himself. You know, he
yeah. He
did
held the
very
city
well.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, he did very well.
That was
And
leading to my fifth question. Like, how many of these amateurs did you turn pro? Like, you just named a lot of them. And also, like, what made you turn to a pro coach from being just an
uh,
amateur coach?
well, you know, we had a bunch of kids. Like we dealing with kids
Was it
citywide. At the time, there wasn't
was
no
it
program like mine. You know, that was
right, right,
basically, you know, allowing these kids to train for free. And you know, you had gyms like Third Street, but you know, they had to pay to go there. Uh,
right,
I can't remember. Oh, Fighting Fitness, but they had to pay to go there. And there was a lot. You know, it was catering toward people with money. So you know, a lot of the kids ain't had nowhere to go but to my gym.
right.
So we had a bunch of kids from citywide. You know, we had kids coming from all over the Bay Area because we made a name for ourselves. They want to train with us.
Yep.
You know, so you know they started coming from like pretty much all over, man. And
So what was the transition to the pros? Like, we're going back to the question. The Was it
well, you
Kareem?
know,
Was he the first
yeah,
one that you went to the pros with?
yep, yep. Kareem,
Yep.
like he was done with the amateurs. He had won the Golden Gloves, and you know, his style was more suited towards the pros anyway. So he decided to go pro. I think it was in 2005. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Kareem was beating them all up, you know, knocking them out and all that, right? Yeah, and so
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, Kareem had
So
a good run, and then after him it was I can't remember, man. You know, like it was just
you worked with a lot of people, man. You worked with a
yeah, it
lot
was
of
a
people.
lot of
Yeah.
people, but it wasn't even just people
Yeah.
from San Francisco. Like Aaron Cody came to me right after
Yeah. That's right.
the U.S.
Yeah.
championships, because you know, I mean, one day I don't know where I was at. I was chilling. Though I got a call from Ed Calantes. You know, he's a
Oh,
professional
okay.
referee
Galantis.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then he
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
amateur
He is.
referee. He called me
Right.
up. He said, "Yo, man, do you want to be the regional coordinator? Because the board wants you to be the regional coordinator, right?" And I think this was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fucking 2007, 8, something like that. And I didn't know what a regional coordinator was, right? And I'm like, what is that, right? They said,
Right.
you're going to be responsible for promoting the U.S. championships, and then you're going to put together the team that's going to compete for the team that's going to
The
go to the
region.
to Olympic headquarters, right, to compete, you know, at the U.S. Championship on a national level, right?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but then I was
Well,
responsible not just for Northern Cali, but I was going to oversee Central Cali too, right? So,
wow. That's
so as a
big. Yeah.
regional coordinator, it wasn't just Northern Cali, it was Central Cali. So, man, so like on that team, I remember Jose Ramirez was only 16 years old, fighting the
Nah.
JOs. I had Arrows,
Okay.
Koreas. So I had Arrows, and on my team, Aaron was on the team, OJ was on the team. Uh, I had hitters, man, on that team.
Yeah.
What's his name? Mike from Pittsburgh. Uh,
Mm.
I can't remember everybody, man, because it's been so long. But I remember Jose winning for us. Aaron was winning for us. They both ended up winning Olympic trials. I think in 2011, something like that. what's his name qualified for the Olympics, Jose Ramirez, but I think Arrows lost in the world qualifiers. But I was responsible for that team. I was overseeing that team, right? So I did that for like 2 years, and we were smashing over there at the Nationals. We were smashing, man. I think 1 year we got like the bronze, right? And I got a plaque from that. I still got it. Yeah, and then so after that, right? Everybody's like, "Yo, man, you need to run for president, man. You need to run for president, right?" I'm like, I said, "You think so?" They're like, "Yeah, man, you need to run for president, right?" So I don't know, man. It was like a group. They must have got together, right, and said, "Yeah, man, let's get Ben in office, right?" And then the word got around like, "Yo, man, you gonna run for president, man?" And so I'm like, I wasn't even tripping off of it, man, for real. And then I'm like, all right, man, I guess if everybody want me in there, right, I'm gonna just go ahead and go for it and see what happens, right? And so I ended up running for president, I think it was in 2011, I think. I ran for president, and I ran against, man, what's that referee, man, from San Francisco? He's a part of Ring of Fire. Good guy.
Ring of Fire.
I can't think of his name, man. Tall, white dude. He be with Jimmy Ford. He's a good dude, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The older man. Yeah. I forgot his man. Man, come on.
He's always like in the corner
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I do. 100%. Yeah, that's big, tall, white, older man. He be wearing chains like me too. He be having some chains
and then
sometimes.
The other one was Don Rivera from Sacramento. You know Don
Rivera?
Yeah,
Don Rivera.
Yeah, I
know Don Rivera.
So I ran against them two, right? And it's crazy because I got love from like everywhere, right, in the Bay Area and North. I mean, and down Sac. So I don't think I'm trying to think of dude's name, man. Shit, but the dude from San Francisco, he didn't really have like relationships like I did down in Sac, right? And Don Rivera, he from Sac, so of course he gonna get a lot of votes from Sac, right? So it was crazy because we was like this. This is me. This Don.
Neck to neck.
And this is the other dude, right? So so they was all like they was all like winning just a little bit, right? Me and the other dude from San Francisco, we was kind of like neck to neck. But Don, he pretty much like Sack on lock. But I was getting everybody's number 2 vote. Right? So because I had 2 number vote, I ended up shooting to the top, man. I won by a landslide. It was crazy, man. And I ended up becoming the president of USA Boxing Northern California, man. Yeah, so that was kind of cool, but at that time, that's when they had shut down boxing in California because an incident happened at a gym where somebody got killed doing an exhibition match. And then they should also have fights at the Olympic Club, right? You know what the Olympic Club is, right?
In San Francisco.
Yeah, like by the financial district.
Right. We fought there.
Union Square. So they used to gamble in there. Somebody videotaped them, exchanging money in there, and they got on the news, right? Channel 7 News, right? And so it got to the California State Athletic Commission, and they ended up shutting boxing down.
So, I heard about that when we were at one of their events. Yeah.
So it was crazy. So a part of them, relaunching the boxing back in California is that we had to submit like monthly reports to the California State Athletic Commission. I had to attend these meetings at the California State Athletic Commission to have meetings with all the presidents from California, which was cool. Joe Sanders is one of them. What's my other boy name? Damn, man, I'm bad with names, man. Jose Ramirez, coach, man.
Man,
I'm getting old, brother.
didn't tell you.
I can't even remember his name, man. That's crazy. But it'll come to me. So we all used to meet up, and that's how I got cool with a lot of people from Central, from LA. So I started like getting big, just like my name started ringing in California, because not just because of boxing, but also now like I'm the president of Northern California as well.
Exactly.
But
That's it.
It was cool though, man. I wasn't getting paid to do it, man. I did it from the heart. I did it because, you know, the people wanted me to do it, and they voted me in. But it wasn't really my thing, man. It wasn't really my thing, you know, because they'll call me like 12 o'clock at night with issues, you know, about another coach or another gym, or they used to fight over dates over, you know, who gonna do this boxing show on this date or that date. And so it was, you know, a lot of politics. But what I wanted to do was bring my experience, my connection, and resources, you know, I was getting from me running my own nonprofit, Straightforward Club in San Francisco. So I felt like I could, you know, make an impact in that way, which I did. But at the same time, I just felt like it was just wearing me down, because I was running a nonprofit, right? I was coaching boxers, I was managing boxers, I was doing the pros, right? And then, you know, I had to deal with USA boxing politics, and it was a lot. But one thing I did get out of it, like I said, was I got a chance to, you know, get close to a lot of, you know, presidents across the nation, right? And also get close to the national president, right? And at the time, because of my success in amateur boxing, I remember I was in Cabo. We was at Ava Knight's title defense in Cabo, and I'm chilling right by the pool, and I get this phone call from the national president, and he said he wanted me to apply to be an Olympic coach, right? And he was gonna make me a level 3 boxing coach, right? Which is like the highest level of being an Olympic coach, right? And so he's like, I want you, you know, take the team to Rio, blah 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 blah, right? Then apply to become Olympic coach. But at the time, you couldn't do the pros and the amateurs at the time. But because of my loyalty to my pros, I turned down the offer. A lot of people don't know that, but I turned down the offer. In retrospect, I wish I didn't, because it would have opened a lot of doors for me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the same time, though, you know, I was just being loyal to my pro fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, so I didn't take advantage of that opportunity. But man, so yeah, I can go on and on, but what's the next question?
We went all the way to 7. We're all the way to 7 now, but I think we at 8. But let me do this at 7. When you took off, you left us to Vegas. I know everybody was talking about Benz in Vegas now. I just want to know what made you go out there, and when was it?
Well, this is when all right, so my son, right, he was boxing, and
right.
He was doing well. He was doing well as an amateur. I felt like
real good.
It just felt like a lot of arrows just pointed towards Vegas. My mom passed away, right? I wasn't the president of USA Boxing anymore, so I ain't had that responsibility, right? And then the city of San Francisco cut my funding to my program, right? So because they wanted to invest in tech, right? Because tech was booming at the time, rather than boxing, right? So you know, so basically, I figured was mom passed away. I ain't the president no more, right? My son, you know, he's elevating. My boxers are elevating, right? And I want to get into real estate too, because you know it was a good time, right? But everything was expensive in San Francisco. So I was like, well, I'm gonna buy me some property out in Vegas, right, and staying. Right. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up buying a fourplex out in Vegas, right, and then I moved my family out to Vegas. It was May 2013, and And I figured it opened doors for my fighters, which it did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of me, you know, was able to build a name out here. Like Aaron, he built a name out here. Kareem, you know, remember when Floyd Mayweather was talking about, I'm gonna either fight
Oh
Floyd,
yeah,
fight
I remember that.
Alberto or Kareem Mayfield.
Or Green Mayfield. Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just from opening the
Okay.
doors, you know, down here in Vegas
Right.
for a lot of them. Even Ava Knight, she ended up getting signed to Mayweather Promotions, right? So, you know,
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
again, my son was elevating, right? But he had fell off due to some other circumstances. But so, you know, it opened a lot of doors. But I ended up getting like homesick because, you know, Vegas, man, can get real boring, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of my family and friends were still in San Francisco. So I went back to
Right.
San Francisco, right? But when I went back, I was like, damn, where everybody at? Right? I said, man, this shit changed, man. Right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm like,
Shit.
man, this shit ain't even no melting pot no more, man. I'm like, what
Nah.
happened, man? Tech took over, right? Right.
Yeah, it did.
I ain't know when I left, a lot of other people left behind me, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, then the prices were high. So,
Yeah, the tech took over everything, man.
Yeah,
Shit, I came out here to back in 2014.
Yeah. So I came back to the Bay, and it just wasn't the same, man. And I'm paying like $4,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment and can't find no damn parking. I'm like, man, this shit
Make
crazy.
no fucking sense.
And I'm getting a ticket every week, right? And I drive through traffic, right? And it's like, man, this is life out here, right? You know, I don't see my kids, I don't see my wife until nighttime, you know. So it was like, man, I think it's, you know, my wife's like, I don't really go back to Vegas, moving to my house, right?
My bad. I got this dog back here going off. Every time
I got
somebody
a few
gets close.
killers too, man. My killers is.
No, I know. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that right now.
I got a few of them chilling. Yep. So, so I ended up coming back to Vegas, man, because one of the managers, boxing managers, like, yo, man, can you train my fighters out here? Blah 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 blah. And my wife wanted to move out here, so I ended up moving back, man. And shit.
And just staying there, yeah. That's what's up.
And I'm happy with the decision.
It is. I mean, I was contemplating it myself. I mean, the last time we seen you when we went to Vegas was at BKB when we seen you came out to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah, Chica Chica got that knock.
Yeah. Yep. Let me get you number 8. Question number 8 is exactly about the dogs. I was going to ask you about what other endeavors are you in besides boxing?
Well, I mentioned real estate, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I'm in the real estate, right? Okay. And you know, I always been involved with dogs. Everybody knew me from like the amateur scene. When they see me, they're like, "What's up with the dogs, man?" Because every time I go to a boxing event, anywhere in California, I have my dog with me, right? Because you know, I just have a big old van, and my dog be chilling in the back, and I should take him like everywhere. Matter of fact, one of my dogs, he made it to like, I think it was not 24/7, but what's that show they had on HBO? It was Pacquiao. This is when Pacquiao was fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, that was like right before the fights. The HBO had it was like 24/7 before 24/7, right?
Yeah.
It was way back when
I used to take my dog to because Kareem was in camp with Pacquiao, and so I used to bring my dog Big Shot with me, and he made it on video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That thing, I forgot what it was called.
And now you doing Frenchies, huh? You because was it back then it was pits, huh? Was it Frenchies?
It was bully. It was bullies.
Bully, that's right.
I started out with pits in the 80s, 90s, but then pits got banned from San Francisco. So I got into the bullies in the 2000s, and then when I came to Vegas in 2013, I got into English Bulldogs, and then I got into Frenchies, man, and I love Frenchies, man. They calm, cool. They're like little pit bulls, I mean, a little feisty,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
a
I was
lot of
thinking
character, a
again
lot
what
of
it is, man,
attitude,
one day, but
and the money's good, man. You
yo,
know,
I see that. Yeah, they call.
my Frenchies going for like 10K and up, man.
Woo.
Yeah.
Boy, man, that's a good walk right there. Let's go into question number 9. Uh, Give me 5 attributes that you think a coach must possess to be successful in boxing.
Say it again.
As a coach, I'm just saying, what are 5 attributes a coach must possess to be successful in boxing? Like
I think one
a
is
coach. Before we
definitely
talk about the fighters.
definitely one is patience, because you're
Yes,
not gonna build a champion overnight. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
You know,
That's right.
Rome wasn't built in a day. You know,
Yep.
it's definitely a process. You know, so patience is one.
That's number 1.
I think resiliency, because boxing, you're gonna suffer wins, you're gonna suffer losses. It's like, but how you gonna bounce back? From L's. When your fighters take L's, you take the L too, right? So like how do you bounce back from that, right? I think you got to be open-minded, right? Like we say our boxers got to be teachable in order for us to work with them. But I think as trainers too, we got to be open-minded, right?
Minded. Yeah, I agree.
I think you can't get just stuck in one style. Times has changed. As opposed to from back in the days, right? I've been going to the gym, man, and not seeing no mitts, right?
Right. No, I know. Yeah.
Hey, our training to have a jump rope, shadow box, hit the bag, and do calisthenics, and that was it, right? But now, it's a different time. Now, you got science that's behind boxing, and so you gotta be open to all that. Back, a lot of old school people like, what is that, man? I ain't taking that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or,
Yeah, that's real.
You don't need all that, man. All you need to do, man, is go run. You know what I'm saying? But now you see a lot of boxers, they doing strength training. They taking supplements. So it's a different time. So you got to better adjust. To
the times. Adjusting to the times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you gotta put your ego aside, man. You gotta stay humble. I think a lot of us, man, it's a competitive sport, man. We all got egos, right? But sometimes you just got to you don't want to be wrong, right? But at the same time, you got to be humble. You got to be willing to listen. You got to be willing to change and willing to learn and willing to better yourself. Some of these guys, you can't even teach them nothing, because they're not willing to learn. They stuck in their ways, right? Stuck, in the past, but it's a different time. So you got to
be humble. You got to be humble.
You got to put your ego aside, man. There's a lot of egos, man. I see a lot of ego, a lot of guys, man, with egos, man, in this game. But you can't let your ego, man, get the best of you, man.
So I got from you. I got patience. So that was 5. That was 5. I think you said patience, resilience, open-minded. Yeah, you said resilience, right? So you said patience, resilience, open mind. Did you say what was the last? This last one where you said is
pretty much be humble. Be humble.
Be humble. Yeah, but there was one more.
You said pretty much put your ego in check.
Ego in check. That's right. Check your ego.
And to be willing to adjust. Be willing to adjust with the times.
Right. Adjusting the times. Yeah, that was the other one. Yep.
Yeah.
So before we get into talking about the fighter qualities, I'm gonna ask you, what's the difference?
One more thing.
Okay.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your health.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You can't. I always say, man, I keep yourself healthy and in shape because, you know, you got to keep up with these kids. You know what I'm saying? So,
Exactly. You got to be
yeah,
able to
that's a
push
good
them
one
and
right
all
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Got to be able to keep up with them. My next question is number 10. This is
Mm-hmm.
what's the difference, in your opinion, with the difference between a pro coach and an amateur coach, and what do you have? What advice you got for these young amateur coaches that might be potentially turned into these pro coaches?
Well, I got the blessing to be part of both, right? And pretty much make it to
Right.
the top in both areas. But yeah, amateur, yeah, definitely is a different system than the pros. So in the amateur, you know, back then we was operating on the point system, so it was all about who get who can get the most points, right? And whoever have the most points wins, right? Whereas in the pros, you know, you go by rounds, right? You know, whoever win the
Mm-hmm.
round. And then in the amateurs, you know, it's be like fast paced because one time was 3 minutes, 3 rounds. No, 1 minute was 4 minutes. No, 4 rounds, 2 minutes. Then they changed it from 3 rounds to 3 minutes.
3
I don't know
minutes.
what it is
Yeah.
now, but right. But
It's
in the
3 minutes, three
pros,
rounds. Yeah.
but in the
Now,
pros it's different, right? You don't want to
but
rush into nothing. You know, you want to be able to take the time because it's the hurt business. Because you might fuck around and you know try to
not real.
run up on somebody and end up getting walk into something and end up getting
Yeah.
put down on your ass. So
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
it ain't about points. You could be up like shit. You know what I'm saying? 9
Mm-hmm.
rounds and then the 10th round come, you get hit one time and then you
Exactly.
get knocked out.
So you saying that the chin got to be a little bit better, right? You know,
Yeah, but
the
yeah,
fighter's chin. Yeah.
your defense definitely gotta be better, right?
That's
You
right.
gotta be
That's
more
right.
strategic.
That's it. Yeah.
You gotta be more strategic. You can't just in box. I think amateurs you take more chances because you got the headgear, the bigger gloves, whereas in the pros it's different. You want smaller gloves and you don't got
Yeah.
the headgear. So yeah, in the
What's
pros, yeah, you definitely gotta be more patient.
what's your
Huh?
what's your advice? What's your advice to the? I'm sorry to cut you off. What's your advice to the coaches that are gonna turn, like, from say they got a prospect and they're gonna turn them into a pro? Like, since they never been a pro coach before, what would your advice be to that coach?
Well, as for myself, I've been blessed, to be around the best. Like guys like in the Bay, around guys like well, I had a pro coach, Johnny Mason for one. He had a pro style, and being around a lot of the older cats back in the days, I learned a lot from them, and guys, they came up from the amateurs and made the transition to the pros, like Paris Alexander. He used to work in my program, right?
Mm-hmm.
J4 Club. He Pat Lawler, them guys, from San Francisco.
Oscar.
And then, yeah, man, Oscar River and there, man. He worked for me too, man. I remember he came into my gym.
Yeah.
I had my gym in Tenlon. He came through
Yeah.
with his wife, and he wanted to become a trainer. And I didn't know who he was. He like, man, I had a fight with Michael Spinks, blah, 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 blah. But, hey, man, I liked him. And I was like, yo, man, come on back, man. I'll give you a job. So gave him a
That's
job. And I said, because he couldn't speak English, I said, well, you can
right.
work with all the Latino fighters because he couldn't speak no English, right? So all the Latino fighters like Chica, Dennis,
Yeah.
and all them,
Yeah.
they understood.
Yeah.
They understood him, right? So that's how they all got with Oscar, right?
Yeah, man. And
You know, you know,
that's
you
how,
know.
that's why I'm so grateful for you, Ben, because if it wasn't for bringing in Oscar, I probably wouldn't even be in this game. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
it
for
was
real?
Oscar
Oh, wow.
yeah, real talk. Real talk. Oscar embraced me. John and Oscar embraced me, but Oscar embraced me more. He made me a coach. He's like, you got it.
Man,
And
yeah.
I was
So
like, damn, all right, fuck it.
you from the SFC umbrella then, man.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
like
That's what I'm saying.
it's like you got a lot
That's
of
why I'm so
trainers out in
grateful
the
for you.
Bay right now. A lot of my
Yeah,
guys are trainers now. Like
yeah,
they like the ones out there doing a damn thing. Man, that all came from
yeah,
my umbrella. Like guys like Hyro, uh,
yeah.
Troy, Miguel,
Troy, Otis.
OT, yeah. Even Bilal, he came up
Even
in
Bilal,
Oakland, right? But you know, one of the gyms I opened up in Oakland, Boxing for Health with Miguel. You know, he was training fighters in there, right? So you know, yeah, definitely, you know, put a lot of work in out in the Bay, and that was like part of the plan, part of the vision, you know, for my nonprofit. You know, not just to build champions inside the ring, but also outside the ring, right?
Right.
So that's what you see now. A lot of them, you know, doing well for themselves. Kareem opening a dispensary, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good thing, man. To see him do that. Miguel got his own gym, you know. But all them doing well, man, and I'm happy. And I'm proud for all of them, you know. There's probably a lot of other boxers I ain't mentioned because I work with so many. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, we went out to
yeah.
Vegas. We seen you with the Bay brothers.
Oh, Bay Brothers, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the Bay Brothers, yeah. I met the Bay Brothers. I've been knowing the Bay Brothers for a minute, but then got close to the Bay Brothers when I came to Mayweather's gym in 2013. Mickey Bay, my partner now, we had a dynamic duel. That was Floyd Mayweather's first world champion, right? And then, you know,
That was his first? He was his
yeah, that
first?
was his first world champion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
something, you know, I didn't know that, yeah.
Fast forward now, right? Now me and Mickey Bay partners. I was so when I came out here, right? No, when I was still in the Bay, I was coming back and forth, and I'll come and work with Mick when he had camp. So I'll come, you know, work with him when he had camp. So you know, we maintain that relationship, you know, me, Mick, and his other brother Cortez.
Yeah.
And so when I moved back, I was working with Mick and these other fighters, and then all of a sudden, you know, Bill Haney, right, BH, contacted Mick and asked him if he wanted to work with Dev, and so because they had did the mitts before, Mick is real good with the mitts, right? He got fast hands. That's why I call him fast hands, right? And so he got with Dev, and then boom, you know, he's like, y'all know my partner Ben. I'm like, oh yeah, we family, because mind you, I've been knowing Dev since kindergarten. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dev used to be in the same kindergarten class as my daughter Destiny, right? And I used to run a program at Booker T. Watts Community Center in Fillmore, and he used to go through there, you know, when he was a little kid before he had moved to Vegas. And then when he was moved to Vegas, let me see. So when he'll come to San Francisco, he'll come to SFC, right? Work out because mom lived in San Francisco. But then we came out here in 2013. We had hooked up with Deb, and yeah. So fast forward, you know, Deb a world champion now, and so Mick started working with him, and so Mick brought my name up, and it was like, oh yeah, it's all good. So during the pandemic, you know, me and Mick was working with Dev in his garage, and now we are working over here on at the Real Boxing Gym, and Dev is fighting Gamboa November 7th. So
that's a good fight, but Dad should be able to get him out of there, huh?
Off top, man. Hey man, that boy gets strong, man. Hey man, he's only he's only 21. He's about to turn 22, man. So he's just now getting his man strength. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Now we're in the championship rounds. These are my last two questions for you, man. We can go all night talking, baby. All right. Question number 11. What 5 qualities does a fighter need to be successful in boxing?
5 qualities? Well, I mentioned
that
one
a fighter needs.
I mentioned one. They gotta be teachable.
A fighter, right? Though, compared to the coach. What was that?
I said they gotta be teachable.
Teachable, that's right. Okay.
Right. You know.
Yep.
I mean, if a fighter feel like they know it all, you can't teach them nothing, right? But
Right, right.
even when they don't know a hook from a fish hook, or you know what I mean,
Yep,
uppercut from a
uppercut
buttercup.
from a buttercup.
You know what I mean? So definitely got to be teachable, and they got to be dedicated to the sport. Um, you can't just ain't no in betweens. You can't be half stepping with boxing, man. It's the art business, man. So if
Right.
you're gonna do this, man, you got to. It's like almost like a
So
religion, man. You got to take
committed,
this
right?
serious. Yeah, you got,
Yeah.
you got to be committed, and then discipline, because you know, boxing's a long sport, first of all, right? So, there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of negative influences around, peer influence as well. Um, you know, drugs, women, but all that, right? So partying. Uh, so you got to definitely be disciplined when it comes to boxing. You got to better watch your diet, watch what you eat, right? You got to be able to, you know, when you get ready for a fight, man, you can't just be going out like that. You gotta get your rest
So
on so your body can
let's
rest and
recap.
all that.
Yep. Let's recap what you just said. You said, let's recap what you said. You said
Mm-hmm.
the first thing you said was teachable, right?
Right.
Teachable. And the second one was committed and
Yeah.
then discipline. And you're saying diet is number 4?
Well, that's part of discipline.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of
So 3
eating.
so far.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta definitely watch your diet. Let me see. That's 3. Uh, man, you gotta be mentally strong, man. Because
Mentally strong.
yeah, because boxing's a tough sport, man. You know, like you might get hit with a punch, boom.
Yeah, that's right.
How you gonna
How you
react towards
react?
that?
Yeah.
Right? If you're not mentally strong, you might just
You're
try to,
gonna be out of there.
get back at them. You know what I mean? Shoot your load or whatever, or walk into a punch.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, boxing is more mental than it is physical. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's
Yep.
90% mental and 10% physical. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in the boxing ring, so definitely you gotta be mentally sharp. Um,
And your
what else?
last one,
What else in boxing need? What I say?
you said teachable, committed, disciplined, and what we just said right now is mentally strong.
Mentally strong, and they gotta be self motivated.
Self motivated. Crazy.
Because
I
self
agree, man.
yeah,
I agree.
they
Yeah.
gotta be self motivated. Because like I say, it's a lonely sport. Like you might not get motivation from the outside, but you gotta find ways to self motivate yourself. Like set goals to be a champion, and if you want to be a Olympic gold medalist or a world champion, you know you gotta stay focused on those goals,
I
right?
got
So
this. Hey, this live got me on a minute left. It got me on a
right.
minute. I think we've been at an hour. All right, give me this. If it cuts off, we'll go back live. But give me your top five fighters. Number 12. This is it. Number
What you
12. We
talking
got
about?
like 40.
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time. It's, you know what? I'm gonna save this video. We go back on live again because it's about to cut off, and I don't want to cut off on you like that.
I'll give it to you right now, man.
All right, you got 30 seconds.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, man, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, Pacquiao, Mayweather,
You went
Moore.
all too much. You went all too much. Oh,
Nah,
look.
it's just so many. Devin Hayes.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
We can go on and on.
Let me. Hey, this thing about to cut off. It says 8 seconds on here, but I ain't never took it this long. Let me get back on live, and I'm gonna let you finish
There
it
you
off.
go.
All right. This part 2 of the interview. We were at our last question. The 12th question. It was who are your top fighters, dead or alive? I know it's hard to make this a list like this because there's so many great fighters, but just give me you know I don't know, just
Plus,
give
I've
me
been around for a while. I've been around for 2 years,
exactly,
man. So
man.
I can't just.
But you know, the great ones is the great ones, man. You know, so
I
I don't
just
know.
I go. I remember this the eras like in the
Top five
'70s. It was
to you,
'70s.
to you. Top five
Yeah.
to you, to you.
I put Muhammad Ali, you know, for what he
Yep,
accomplished
yep.
inside and outside the ring, for sure. Um, growing up, I idolized Sugar Ray Leonard a lot, so definitely Sugar Ray Leonard. I like it. Roy Jones,
Roy
Mike
Jones.
Tyson, and you know, in the '90s, they smashing. You know,
Yep.
late '80s, early '90s.
So you got Ali, Jones, Tyson. That's three. You got two more to go, big baby.
Two more. That's all I get. Two more. I got
You only
more than
get
two though.
five. You only get five. I know because we
I
was
get
talking and you
more.
went off on like 100. You was running off the
Yeah,
names.
man. I mean, I like Pacquiao. I like Floyd Mayweather. I put Andre Ward in there, man. I can't leave Dre out.
I know, right? I mean, so come on, five. Ali, Jones, Tyson, Dre.
Pacquiao and Floyd, man. They, you know, they
Pacquiao.
yeah. That's 5A,
Pacquiao.
5B.
Pacquiao and Floyd, 5A and B, yeah. All right, that's perfect. All right, and to conclude my interview, I just want to say, you know, thank you for taking the time out, man. I want to give you your flowers while you're here. You know, they say we never give our flowers to our people that are here. You know, I appreciate you a lot. Like I said, if it wasn't probably for you, I probably wouldn't even be in the position I'm in.
So how did you get hooked up? How did you get hooked up with Oscar?
You know, the thing was, I came to John and just, you know, as people, just to talk to him. You know what I mean? Because, you know, he got the same background as me. So I was like, you know, I'm coming to check up on you and see
you from San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm from the Mission, straight up.
Okay.
First 22nd in Cap Street. Yep.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah. So we linked up through that way, and then John was, you know, me and John got cool, and Oscar was like, you need to stay under me, and I'm gonna make you a coach. And I was like, all right, man. You know, I was like, fuck it. Yeah. And you know, I can throw him, you know what I'm saying? It's like nothing. We go in this spar with John Lowe once in a while, you know, spar with whoever, that's, you know, show him what it is.
Wow,
you know,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So now you in Sacramento? You live in Sacramento?
Yeah, I'm in Sac now. I'm in Sac now, bro. Yep.
Why you moved?
Like you said, the cheap, you know, the pricing. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was like, man, I need to cop me a spot. And when I caught my spot in 2014, it was real low. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know.
So what gym you at now?
I'm at Midtown now. I was with Brandon at Flawless for a minute, and then we went over to Midtown. Yeah, Midtown.
Yeah,
it's a little gym.
He's working with what's his name? That's I forgot his name, man. But he got a fight coming up against Badu Jack.
Oh, with Blake. Yeah. Oh,
Blake,
we had to part ways. Oh,
yeah.
for real? Okay, Yeah, his head got a little bit too big. So you know how it goes with this game, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They start, you know, disrespecting you as a coach. It's like, nah, man, I ain't with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't disrespectful, but he wasn't listening no more. So to me, that was a form of disrespect.
That go back to being teachable. Remember we talking about that?
Exactly. Yep.
Being humble and all that, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was asking to get your take on it. But back to giving you your flowers, man. I just want to say thank you, man, for everything, man. Like all the people you taught, they've become coaches as well. You know, you're an important figure in this boxing world. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to reach out to all the people in this boxing world that have some, you know, a story to tell, and I want you guys to tell your own story. And you know, I picked you because you know, like I said, the brand, you know. It's something special, you know.
Right, all the
I
time.
have a title somehow, and it's with Oscar. I gotta reach out to Oscar next. You know, Oscar is different. I gotta talk to him in Spanish and all that shit. So
right. Yeah, he got a story to tell. Ask him how he came into SFC on Mason Street.
All right.
I gave him a job, man. I gave him a job. I was paying him. You know what I'm saying? But he was a hard working man. He's a hard working man. He was cool, man.
Yep.
We had a good run together.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much for taking the time out. You know you got things to do and stuff, and I just want to give you your flowers. And I hope you and your family great health and good times in the future and lots of money. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. For sure. When you come to Vegas, holla at me, man. I'm here. Yep, yep.
I'm gonna reach out to you soon, pimp.
All right, man. Hey, love, man. Hey, likewise. All right.
God bless.
All right, in a minute.
All right, Ben. Yep.